Hey guys, how you doing? It's been a little bit late for this last video log, but this last December and January has been absolutely cram-packed, so I want to tell you guys what I've been up to. So let's jump straight into it. First of all, I had the honor of being a mentor for a thing called TOM, which is called Tikkun Olam Makers. And this is a makeathon that runs for 72 hours, and basically the makers, well, I tell you what, how about I play the video and let the guy on the video explain to you what it's all about.
The 11 teams that we see here have the privilege of going from zero for a problem to prototype.
I'm learning how to 3D print.
72 hours is a very short time to prototype. So if we can actually get the mechanics of the answers working and documented for Tom, it means people can replicate it and build upon that.
So the actual makeathon was incredible. I had a real blast at working with all the different teams. There were people of different levels of makerdom, I guess you could call it, but really there were some incredibly skilled people involved, and it was an absolute honor to be a mentor. I was able to actually float around to all the different groups, and I was able to share with them the ability to get to the prototype stage in literally under 72 hours. And the great thing about this makeathon is that everyone was able to deliver an answer to the people who had a medical need. It was really fun. I know that Jimmy DeRissa talks about Tom. He was involved in the last one in New York. So it was a real thrill to be able to be involved in TOM in Melbourne. And this is actually the second time it's run. So I'm actually hoping that next year I don't go as a mentor, but actually as a maker, because by the end of 72 hours, I just wanted to make. Also in December, I had the honor of presenting a talk at Buzzconf. If you haven't been involved or don't know what Buzzconf is, it's basically a long weekend where families come down and they have workshops and talks all about technology, about making, about creativity. And I was asked to give a presentation about what maker culture means to mankind. It was a really great audience, and in fact, one of the questions ended up leading to a whole nother type of discussion that was going on. So I'm going to leave a link just up the top if you're interested in going and seeing the quick video from that talk. It was a really great question all about gender bias and maker culture. I gave my thoughts about this. As you know, I believe that making is open to everyone, and I definitely shared that with the audience. One of the great things that came out of this was a conversation that went beyond the actual presentation on the day and then in social media. So if you're interested, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Are makers male gendered creators and are crafters female gendered creators? I don't think so. I think we're all creativity. Or creative. I shouldn't say, all creativity doesn't really have a gender, does it? So write down below. Tell me what you think. Is making and creating open to everyone, or does it have a unique flavor and direction because of boundaries? Some really, really good news is that I got finally, after a year, finished my XYZ Carve. So I actually now have a CNC machine in my workshop, which I'm putting together, and I am, when you hear about these things, you see them on social media, it seems to be just this kind of push a button and everything turns out perfectly. Just like 3D printing in that journey, I realized that CNC is going to be a journey for me. I started printing some tests and sharing them around on Instagram. So if you want to see the latest stuff and see some live feeds of what I'm actually doing, Instagram is definitely the place to catch me, and it's Kosher Tony Stark. So expect to see more from the XYZ Carve. It was an interesting build. I never expected it to take a year. There was a few kind of little curveballs that were happening when I was actually building it. And if people are interested, let me know below, and I'll actually do a whole post about it. But at this point in time, I really want to move past that build stage and actually start building some stuff and having those conversations with you. So XYZ Carve, yeah, it's finally running. It was a great way to start 2018, a great New Year's Eve present to myself. So, everyone has New Year's resolutions, and my resolution for this year is actually to get this area, all this stuff here, organized so that I can actually have a workshop to work. I do work at a lot of makerspaces, both at work and some of the social ones that I'm a member of, but there's nothing like having your own space. And I kind of want to make this space my own. So this is actually a 2-car garage, and the goal is to get 1 car in because it's got a whole lot of stuff that I kind of hoarded over the last couple of years, clean it out and make it as practical practical as possible and actually make this a bit of a YouTube studio as well. So you guys will actually be able to come in here and see what I'm making and not just have it at the times that I can go into other makerspaces. But by all means, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to the different spaces. This just means that I have a place to retire when I need to work by myself. A little bit like my own back cave. You know, I'm sure everyone has their own space. Share with me what space you use to create. The last month, December and January, I really put my boot in and started making maker projects and posting them up on YouTube. So if you've been following me, if you've subscribed, you would have seen there's a whole bunch of different videos. The first one I want to talk about is when I went to visit Jimmy DeRisto in February, he gifted me one of his incredibly famous ice picks, and that ice pick actually got damaged when I was actually working. In the video it looks like I'm jamming it into a bandsaw, but I actually damaged it in a different way. And a friend of mine showed me how to actually sand the sides down and then repair it. So that was incredible. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Steve, for repairing the ice pick. I know that you know, it was something that bothered me a lot. It had sentimental value. Surprisingly enough, Jimmy's comment to me when I mentioned it to him was, just use it and, you know, get another one when you're here, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, when someone actually gives you something that you can tactically keep, I got a very sentimental heart, what can I say? So I really wanted to repair this one. One of the other videos that I worked on was actually, again, a bit of a milestone because I got my bandsaw working again. So I actually stripped it all down with the help of Steve again in his workshop, and we were able to rebuild it together. So I was having all these problems when I was able to find this secondhand bandsaw. We had the belt was jumping off. It almost cut me at one time when it jumped off the wheels. It was biting into the guides and a few other things. Right now, the bandsaw works incredibly, and it's on my desk or it's on one of the benches in the garage, but I'm actually going to make a freestanding stand for it so I can wheel it out, put it in the middle, and cut away. And you're going to see a number of projects with me using that bandsaw. I love that. That bandsaw kind of was a bit of a love-hate relationship, but it's an incredible thing when you strip something back and it all starts to work really smoothly. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is that I am running a Ask Me Anything video, which will hopefully be up by the end of the month. I'm open to any questions you have about me. I realize that I haven't really been sharing myself and my journey with the YouTube audience, and that's something that I'm trying to do now. So if you've got a question, feel free to post it below. You can pretty much ask me anything. I don't know, I get the feeling sometimes people aren't too sure exactly where I'm coming from. So I'm actually going to be doing more videos about kind of my journey and what kind of turns me on to the maker community. You know, I'm very lucky. I have a position where I'm actually being able to interact with the maker community, not just for myself, but also kind of professionally. But more than that, for me, it's all about community. It's all about meeting all of you and being inspired by the stuff that you make. But I've built things in this shed for 10 months by myself, and it's when I actually connect with other people that it really lights me up. And I realized that while I have an answer, there are 2,000 other answers, and I don't know what I don't know. So, you know, this is an opportunity. Ask a question, you'll definitely have it answered in the video, and hopefully we'll all be able to get to share some knowledge, and maybe you'll get to see a side of myself that you weren't aware of. It'll be kind of fun and scary. Let me tell you, it is scary. I don't want to, you know, we'll see where it goes. The other thing that I want to say just quickly before I go is happy 2018, everyone. I really have a feeling this is going to be a maker year, and I know for myself I have hundreds of projects, literally hundreds. I wrote them all down. So hang out here, expect some more maker videos, including Makers Monday, which I love doing. I love meeting everyone around the world, and thank you to everyone who has been a part of that project. We're going to go into 2018 extremely strong. And I'm actually going to break my 2,000 subscriber limit, which I haven't been able to break last year, but I think, you know, this is the year. This is when it's going to happen. I'm going to ask you, if you aren't a subscriber, or if you are, press that little bell button, or if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. That really would help me out. 2,000 subscribers, I have a big surprise. I've got this surprise that's been waiting since July to share with all of you, and I really, really want to share it with you. So, you know, help me out. Let's get it up there. Thank you to everyone this last year. I One of the very first videos that I made when I went over to New York was really thanking everyone who helped me on that journey, and I thank you now. If I don't know you personally, that doesn't mean that you weren't part of it. We are all a huge, great community, and I just want to say, keep your eyes open. I'm so super excited. I have such a project that I wanted to tell you guys here now, but I don't want to say anything, because if on the off chance it doesn't come through, you know, no one wants to feel kind of like stupid about it. But when I can share this with you, I think it'll put a big piece in the puzzle of what I'm trying to do. All right, that's it. Happy 2018. Thank you guys so much. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next year happens. Subscribe, watch a lot. I'll see you around. Thank you.